In today's rapidly evolving financial world, one name keeps appearing in conversations about the future of global banking: Ripple. According to the Post, global banking is getting a major speed boost, and Ripple is leading that charge with its fast payment technology. That is a bold statement, but it reflects a growing belief among supporters of blockchain finance that traditional payment systems are too slow, too expensive, and too outdated for the demands of modern global commerce. The Post also highlights a key claim from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, referred to in the caption as BG. He says the company is unlocking real value through the XRP Ledger, a blockchain-based system designed to support fast and efficient transactions. At the center of this idea is XRP, the digital asset that Ripple supporters often describe as a bridge asset. In simple terms, XRP is meant to help move money between different currencies and financial systems almost instantly, reducing the need for slow intermediaries and costly transaction layers. For years, international banking has struggled with one big problem: speed. Sending money across borders can take days, especially when multiple banks and clearing systems are involved. Fees can be high, delays are common, and transparency is often limited. Ripple's vision is to fix that. By using the XRP Ledger, the company claims it can make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more reliable. That is why many crypto enthusiasts and fintech observers see Ripple as more than just another blockchain company. They see it as a serious attempt to modernize the financial plumbing of the world. What makes this especially interesting is the phrase real value. In the crypto world, people often debate which projects have actual use cases and which are driven mostly by hype. Ripple supporters argue that this is where XRP stands out. Instead of focusing only on speculation, the project presents itself as a practical solution for real-world financial institutions. The idea is not just to create another digital token, but to build a tool that can solve a problem banks have faced for decades. Still, this vision remains controversial. Critics question whether banks will fully adopt XRP in the way Ripple hopes, and others point out that regulatory battles and market skepticism continue to shape the company's journey. Even so, Ripple remains one of the most talked about names in digital finance, especially when the topic turns to cross-border payments and banking innovation. So what does this post really suggest? It suggests that Ripple wants to be seen as the company building the next generation of global payment infrastructure. It wants XRP to be recognized not just as a cryptocurrency, but as a lightning-fast bridge between financial systems in a modern finance world that demands efficiency. Whether Ripple truly becomes the backbone of future banking or not, one thing is clear: the conversation around speed, value, and financial transformation is growing louder, and Ripple is making sure its name stays at the center of that conversation. A new rumor circulating in the crypto community has sparked massive speculation about the future of Ripple and XRP. According to a viral social media post shared by crypto commentator Amelie, there are reports suggesting that Ripple may have finalized a major agreement involving XRP with the United States. While these claims remain unconfirmed, the possibility alone has ignited intense discussions among investors, analysts, and blockchain enthusiasts around the world. The Post claims that trillions of dollars in value could potentially be positioning to enter the XRP ledger. If such a scenario were ever to happen, it would represent one of the most significant moments in the history of XRP. The XRP Ledger, which powers the digital asset XRP, was designed to support high-speed transactions and cross-border payments. Supporters believe that if major institutions or governments began integrating this technology at scale, it could dramatically reshape the global financial landscape. Adding even more intrigue to the speculation is a reference to Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. A social media post mentioned that he had dinner with Donald Trump and Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's chief legal officer. While the dinner itself may seem like a simple social event, the internet quickly turned it into a topic of deeper analysis. One detail from that dinner conversation caught particular attention: the mention of beef bourguignon. On the surface, it might sound like just another dish served at a formal dinner. However, some online discussions suggest that the phrase has occasionally been used metaphorically in business culture. In certain interpretations, serving that dish during a meeting could symbolize the celebration of a successful deal or the closing of an important agreement. Whether that symbolism was intended or not is still unknown, but the speculation has fueled further excitement across the crypto community. This is a perfect example of how quickly narratives can spread in the digital age. A single social media post, a photo, or even a menu item can become part of a much larger theory about what might be happening behind closed doors in the world of finance and politics. For supporters of XRP, the idea of a large-scale partnership with the United States government represents a dream scenario, one that could potentially push the technology into mainstream financial infrastructure. However, it is important to remember that these reports remain rumors. No official confirmation has been released by Ripple, the U.S. government, or any major financial institution regarding such an agreement. The crypto market has seen many waves of speculation before, and not every viral theory turns out to be accurate. Still, moments like this highlight the intense interest surrounding XRP and its potential role in the future of global payments. Whether these rumors eventually lead to real announcements or simply fade away, they demonstrate how closely the crypto community watches every move made by Ripple's leadership and partners. For now, the story remains a fascinating mix of speculation, symbolism, and possibility, a reminder that in the world of cryptocurrency, even the smallest details can spark massive conversations about the future of finance. Another major talking point in the crypto world is the growing belief that the relationship between traditional banks and digital assets is starting to change. In this post, the message is clear. Banks are being pushed to make a deal with the crypto industry, and supporters believe that this shift could open the door for XRP and Ripple to play a central role in the future of finance. The post references a statement attributed to Donald Trump saying that banks need to make a good deal with the crypto industry because it is in the best interest of the American people. Whether viewed as a political signal, a policy direction, or simply a strong opinion, this kind of statement matters because it suggests that crypto is no longer being discussed only on the edges of the financial world. It is now entering the mainstream conversation at the highest levels of politics and economics. What makes the post especially interesting is the claim that the bridge between banks and crypto already exists. According to the caption, that bridge is exactly where XRP and Ripple fit in. This idea has become one of the strongest arguments made by Ripple supporters over the years. Rather than trying to replace the banking system entirely, Ripple's model has often been presented as a way to work with banks, improving the system rather than tearing it down. That distinction is important. Many cryptocurrencies were built with the vision of bypassing traditional institutions altogether. Ripple, on the other hand, has frequently positioned itself as a blockchain company focused on helping financial institutions move money more quickly and efficiently. In this view, XRP is not just a digital asset for traders. It becomes a utility tool designed to connect old financial infrastructure with new technology. The phrase, "the bridge between banks and crypto already exists," carries a lot of weight. It implies that the future may not be a battle between traditional finance and blockchain, but a merger of the two. If that is true, then companies like Ripple could benefit tremendously, especially if regulators, governments, and major banks begin looking for solutions that are already built, tested, and ready to scale.
The post also points toward a larger theme that has been gaining momentum. Crypto is becoming a policy issue. It is no longer just about price charts, online communities, or investor excitement. It is about financial access, innovation, competitiveness, and national economic interest. If political figures begin openly encouraging stronger cooperation between banks and the crypto sector, that could change the tone of the entire industry. For XRP supporters, this kind of messaging reinforces a long-held belief that Ripple has been building for the future all along. While many projects focused on hype and speculation, Ripple focused on partnerships, compliance discussions, and financial use cases. That strategy may now appear more relevant than ever if the banking world starts moving closer to blockchain solutions. Of course, a social media post alone does not confirm policy changes or guaranteed adoption, but it does reflect a powerful narrative that is gaining traction. The financial world may be preparing for a new era where banks and crypto no longer stand on opposite sides. And if that era truly arrives, Ripple and XRP may be positioned right in the middle of it.
Another wave of excitement is building in the XRP community, and this time the focus is on a powerful phrase that always captures attention in crypto: regulatory clarity. In the post, a statement is attributed to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, suggesting that by the end of April, there is a strong chance that the company will not only be back on track, but very close to having something important signed. For many XRP supporters, that kind of wording points to one possibility above all others: a major breakthrough in regulation. The post boldly declares that regulatory clarity is coming, and that message carries huge weight. In the world of cryptocurrency, regulation has always been one of the biggest barriers to growth. Investors, institutions, and even governments often hesitate when legal uncertainty surrounds a digital asset. Without clear rules, companies face risk, adoption slows down, and confidence becomes fragile. That is why the idea of regulatory clarity is seen as a game changer, especially for a project like Ripple, which has spent years operating at the center of legal and financial debate. Ripple's journey has never been just about technology. It has also been about proving that blockchain solutions can survive, adapt, and grow within the boundaries of law and compliance. Unlike many crypto projects that tried to move fast and challenge the system from the outside, Ripple often positioned itself as a company ready to work within global financial frameworks. That approach made regulation more important for Ripple than for many other projects because its long-term vision depends heavily on institutional trust. If the company is indeed moving closer to something being signed, as the post suggests, then the XRP community sees this as more than routine progress. It could signal the beginning of a new chapter, one where Ripple moves out of uncertainty and into a more stable and recognized position in the financial world. That is why the phrase "back on track" matters so much. It implies recovery, momentum, and renewed direction after a period of challenge. The image in the post, showing XRP Community Day in the EMEA region, with Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse featured as speakers, adds another layer to the message. It gives the impression that Ripple is not hiding or retreating. Instead, it appears active, visible, and engaged with its community and partners across important international markets. That visibility can strengthen confidence, especially among supporters who believe Ripple is preparing for something significant behind the scenes. For many in the XRP space, regulatory clarity is not just a legal issue, it is the missing piece that could unlock wider adoption, deeper partnerships, and greater legitimacy. If companies and institutions finally gain a clearer understanding of how XRP can be used within the law, the effects could extend far beyond price speculation. It could influence payment systems, banking relationships, and the role of blockchain in mainstream finance.
Of course, optimism on social media does not equal official confirmation. Posts like this reflect community interpretation and expectation, not guaranteed outcomes. But they do reveal something important. Confidence around Ripple appears to be rising again. And if regulatory clarity really is approaching, then this moment may be remembered as the point when Ripple stopped fighting for survival and started preparing for expansion.